All right, I think we've reestablished that contact, and that's the way we do it here at Pax Stereo with that Facebook integration. Are you ready for some news?
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. I hope you have your robe open. Cotton underwear. It's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. I know you like that intro. Yeah. Everybody, hey, good news, bad news, other shit. You know, that's the segment, and a lot of days it's a little bit of everything. It's a lot of good news. It's definitely some other shit. So first things first, Fidel Castro dead. Actually, he's been sick for a decade. A whole bunch of debate. They can never tell you, despite all their wonderful intelligence, they can't seem to tell us how sick he is. So it's an amazing point in time. A lot of people feeding in on this. For me, it's a little too complex. I have too many feelings. You have to almost discuss Castro to me in phases in order to then try to figure out how one became the other.
Is it necessary to figure it out?
Well, it's not necessary in the sense if you want to be able to look at that whole history, that whole piece of American history, and understand our own relationship with Cuba, and then how that relates perhaps to the Miami area, those parts of Florida, and how it affects the demographics. So depending upon you, like say if you lived in Miami, Vic, you might be more curious because of all the Cubans that are around you.
How far do you want to go backwards?
Well, or forward. So yeah. I think in understanding the past, I think it helps you to plan for the future. One of the things that's really upcoming now is already happening was, first of all, as one of the last kind of openly communist countries, how U.S. policy goes about interacting with them, and also because you have opened up travel, people can transfer more money. Right. So all of that looks like at least it continues. So the real question for a bunch of Cubans, Vic, just like we raised on the medical marijuana issues here in California, a lot of the Cubans are wondering as the money starts to roll into Cuba, will they get any of it? Or is it going to go to companies right from here who go over there with enterprises, who then are the ones who are basically absorbing most of the benefit? And that's one of the questions.
Okay. I'll give you a Vegas bet. Where do you think it's going to happen?
I think the big money people are going to come in there and take everything, like they usually do.
Well, you made my bet.
Give you some job, and since the question is being communist, what are they going to get as benefits, right? Like salary. How do the benefits get? Now, this the part you get to watch as a historical lesson, right? Is watch as international investors pour money into a communist country that's a resort, like Cuba. Havana was one of the wonderful, it was like Las Vegas on the beach.
Yep.
So we get to watch what happens when you see that kind of money pour into a communist country, because the issues there with China, see what I'm saying? You have these same kinds of issues. So, but Cuba, in many ways, represents a whole nother way of looking at the exact same issues. I'm very curious to see what happens with Cuba, the money that pours in there. Then with a longer eye looking toward China because of the size and power that they wield. But these are the things that are happening today.
I always had a question. I remember many people willing to, risk their lives, to come over to the shores of Florida, by way, of course, from Cuba. My question is how many people actually tried to risk their lives leaving Florida to go back to Cuba?
No, ain't nobody leaving the U.S. to go no damn where. I don't even know if that's a fair question anymore. Here we are living in the citadel of everything. First of all, Vic, we are always made aware of how lucky we are to be in Los Angeles, right?
Right.
I mean, we just know. I mean, and especially when you leave here and go other places, you go. My dad used to tell me, remember, son, you live in the most wonderful advanced city in the entire world. No matter where you go, it'll be a step down, okay? It'll be a step down in a bunch of areas. It might be beautiful.
Right.
And wonderful on those levels, but you will take a step down on technology, communication, all those kind of things, medical, usually, all those things. So here we are today.
I always say, man, when the people are willing to risk their lives to leave a place, you got to ask yourself, which way are they heading? And to add to what you're talking about, man, there's one condition that allows people to go and get the best of the best wherever they go. The rich, the powerful, and the famous, when they travel to other countries, they usually don't have to live down. They always live up.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so.
People who are interested, go take a look. Remember, the history of Cuba is a little complicated. Look, because you have to, in order to understand Castro, understand the regime he overthrew. Because he was welcomed in Havana with parades. Okay, you have to understand what was going on with Allende, our own CIA, the use of the mob in Havana. These are all things that complicate the story. Okay, they just are. Tragic loss, but again, maybe not so tragic because we celebrate their lives as part of the process of the tide rising and the tide falling. Florence Henderson has passed.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the support that she had throughout the community. It's amazing. Okay, I would just love to see the demographics. Because I had a bunch of black men in there over 35, or maybe over 40, who were posting tributes to Florence Henderson. She had a lot of community support. There are a lot of people who loved her, you guys, and I was amazed at the cross-cultural kinds of things that people who stepped forward for her. It was very beautiful. Obviously a well-loved person.
Right.
Florence Henderson, throughout the community, you hear a lot of things, people posting a lot of things about her. And so we wanted to acknowledge her passing and to say, may you rest in peace, Florence Henderson. Obviously, a lot of people love you.
Yeah.
They do. They love her.
It's so interesting, too, man. I guess my bike trek over to the Brady house was kind of timely, but not knowing that this was going to happen. A lot of people grew up looking at families that were large. If you came from a large family, no matter what your culture or background, they had those consistencies across the board. When you have so many children, which they did a good job of on this show, if you ever watched it. It's the first show that a parent never confused the name of the child when they got upset. Because you be going through the list of the names, going, David, you just keep
Billy,
going.
Bobby.
You just go straight through. They always got the names correct. And let me say this. I used to think, so parents don't really get upset, huh? Watch the Brady Bunch. They don't get upset.
Not those. Mine did. Mine did. You hear my mother. Because she'd be sitting in the living room and all the lights would go out.
Oh, that's wrong.
Okay, you guys. Well, where's my other sounds? I'm not used to some of the effects. Give me a sec. Try to find my sound effect because it's time for Marijuana for Dummies time, you guys.
It's that time. I thought that was a selfie thing.
Same thing. We ain't got no interns.
I'll try to tell you.
Trying to save some money. No woman for the holidays. Yeah, all right. Marijuana for Dummies segment. I just want to give you guys some holiday reminders today. For those people who are out here in California right now. And remember, I love to speak to the older folks who once smoked marijuana back in the day. Because you are the ones who are about to fuck it up, okay? I'm just telling you. Forgive my French. I'm specifically talking to the old folks who used to smoke back in the day. Here are my holidays reminders for you. 1, the marijuana today is way, way stronger. I say it again. The marijuana today is way, way stronger. It doesn't seem to have a munchy effect for many that parallels that increase in strength. So you could actually smoke less and, get your high, your buzz, and your other therapeutic effects without necessarily getting the munch you're having. But still, what we want to remind people, first of all, as our holiday reminder, is that the marijuana today, if you're an older person, it's way stronger. Okay? You take a moment, go slow with your return to days. I know you have many stories about you back in the 60s and the 70s and how you smoked so much pot and when you were in college, and then some of you had that little thing with your girlfriend, and it was just that one time, but still they want to call you a lesbian sometime, but that's all right. These are your memories of the marijuana, whatever. Just all you guys, don't smoke a lot in the beginning. Just, it's a lot stronger. The other thing is pay careful attention to the labeling on any edibles that you purchase, because there's a wide variety and strength, and people don't realize that many times when you buy a cookie, sometimes when it's a big cookie, it might be 4 doses in the cookie, but you'll eat 5 cookies because you're an idiot. Okay, so it's for the warn you once again. It's the holidays. Pay attention to the labeling, especially on the edibles, because if else don't buy edibles, because if you're going to eat the bag of gummy bears, which might be 10 doses or something, I don't know, don't buy it. Don't buy it, because you're going to mess it all up. Okay, or you're going to leave it out and come home and find your old lady ate the caramel popcorn and she's over in the corner there, rolling around the cat. I'm just saying. Okay, so holiday reminders. Also, holiday reminders, this is not a time for you to smoke and drive. Okay, let's be prudent about our activities and be careful throughout the holidays. Another holiday reminder is that you cannot legally sell marijuana. Do not attempt to sell marijuana. You're allowed to possess and grow marijuana. You're allowed to legally purchase marijuana from a medical marijuana dispensary and give it away free of charge to a person over 21 years of age. Okay? Don't stretch it. You can't smoke in public. Don't be an idiot. Barely read anything about marijuana. You walk down the street with a joint. Well, you're an idiot. And we don't want you out there anyway. Okay? Because that's exactly the stuff that no one wants.
Giving them all the reasons for them to go do what you're telling them not to, right?
Well, like I said, holiday reminders.
Right.
Or else you could be the idiot who actually gets a marijuana arrest despite all the new legalization. Right. You could be that idiot. Wow, everybody else is just smoking and possessing.
And I'm not laughing.
You're going to be the idiot who actually gets arrested because you can't get the rules right. Okay. All right. Marijuana for Dummies, everybody.
That was your public service announcement, right?
Public service.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay. All right. So once again, I think that's our stuff for this week. This has been, as you know, the good news, the bad news. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, goodbye to Florence. So long to Fidel. Watch out when you're indulging. That's the good news. The bad news and the other shit.